my sweat time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my sweat time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my sweat time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my sweat time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to finally be joined by the Berserker Joel Cobra. How are we doing, buddy? You good?
I'm all good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, mate. Well, like I say, finally get to chat. It's been a long time coming. We were meant to do it a few months ago. Things didn't align, but we finally got there. And it's probably actually worked out a little bit better. Like a couple of months difference from when we were last going to speak to now. A lot of shit's gone on. Things have changed. You've leveled up. So I think we've got more to talk about now than we would have done then anyway. So it's probably a really good thing.
No, 100%. It's been a crazy couple of months. It's been a crazy start to the year. Been a very crazy
Just to
start,
clarify, just to clarify as well, I just want to tidy up for anybody watching this straight away. Is going like, well, we know the host has got a shoddy eye, so I expect him to look like he's got a crazy eye. But you have a crazy eye at the moment as well. We are eyebrows.
Yeah.
let's just get that done first, and then obviously, we'll talk about other stuff going on. But if anybody's like looking at your eye, being like, "Damn, it is an official battle wound."
100% from live from Saturday's takeover show in St Helens. From the main event, it ended up being a bit of a melee with myself, Warmick, the king of the biker wall, and Vesper against Gareth Angel, Young Horace, and of course Kendall. And yeah, it turns out Vesper's aim isn't that good. No, I'm playing. It was just a freak accident. These things happen. This ain't ballet. We get hurt sometimes. Accidents happen. It is what it is.
So basically, you telling me before we hit record, kind of thing. Obviously, man swung at you with the bell. Well, not swung at you, swung at Gaz, missed. Like I say, just unlucky, dude. Like part of the belt, obviously, caught your eye. Bosh, there you go. Freaking Niagara Falls. Must have been a sight for the people in the front row, though, to see you on the floor, looking up and just being like, "Wah!"
It was funny because I remember, I've just looked up and I've looked down and there's just a big pool of blood. I'm like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of claret." And I've just looked up at this woman and I heard her say, "Wow, these special effects are amazing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I wish these were effects. I really wish this were an effect."
I've just literally popped a blood capsule and just got like that on my head. Bosh.
I mean, my main concern about all of it was not the fact I'm getting blood everywhere. No. It was the fact that this is new gear. This is brand new gear. I can't ruin it. I can't ruin my gear.
Dry clean ain't going to get this done, kind of thing. I can only imagine, like, I've not even thought about that before. Like, obviously, you lot having to, like, looking after your own gear, buying your own gear, maintaining it. Dude, yeah, you bleed. That must be like a mofo to try and get clean, like whole 24 capsules of Ariel fucking in the washing machine trying to get that, Daz's whites back or something. I don't know.
That's the one, but it's horrible. Like, blood is not the one to get out. And paint, blood and paint, it's a nightmare to get out of gear.
Watch Deadpool, right? Simple lesson. Make your wrestling gear red.
Yeah, I think that's where I've been going wrong. Not yellow. Not like Wolverine.
No, red.
Red.
Unless you're facing somebody very scary, and then obviously yellow does kind of come in handy, or brown. Make the suit red. There we go.
Absolutely.
Lesson learned. So anyway, now we've got that tidied up. Sorry, dude, I just had to mention that straight away, just people watching. So yeah, like I said, it's a crazy start to the year. What's been going
on? So personal life has been a bit of a rubbish one. Made redundant. Had to refocus myself, and got myself back in the gym in a full routine. I noticed over the few years of me being injured and not looking after myself, I was putting on a bit of weight, and I wasn't being able to move. I wasn't being as healthy as I wanted to be. So from January, I absolutely hit the ground running, and I'm 5 stone down. So
Dude,
yeah,
that is genuine because I know how hard it is. I know what it's like. That's awesome. That's crazy impressive.
17.8 from is what I'm weighing at the moment. 17 stone 8, which
Did you
I'm
like how
very, very
tall are
happy.
you? You're about 6'4", aren't you?
6'4". At start, I was 23. I was 23.10 at start of year. So yeah, big
17
loss.
stone at 6'4", dude. That's good, man. That's fighting weight.
My target, I wanted to get to 18 and a half because I'm back playing rugby as well, and I'm well under that now. So I think I need to bulk a little bit, but I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and stay this a bit leaner. I've noticed I'm a bit faster as well on my feet, and I can move. I'm more comfortable with moving.
Again, before we hit record, mate, I was saying the same thing to you. Like I sort of said, I saw you on one of Jeebus's reels. I think it's at a Breakout or something like that a month ago or something, or a few weeks ago.
Firestar.
Firestar, sorry, it was Firestar. Yeah, mate, you were bezzing around that ring. You know, he's like Wally West, just like. Shoom, 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 shoom. I was like, oh, the dude's like, yeah, mate, you're limber. You picked up your pace. You leveled up, and yeah, as long as you're feeling comfortable, that's the key thing.
No, absolutely. I'm feeling more comfortable in the ring. I'm feeling better. Being able to perform and give the fans exactly what they want to see. They want to see a big guy who can actually move instead of just be
Lumber.
yeah. I don't want to be stereotyped as the big guy. I want to show what I can do and showcase it. And I think every match that I've been having recently, I've been able to showcase just a little bit more, teasing it, and I'm enjoying my wrestling at the moment, which is a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Obviously, we talked Firestar there. You mentioned Kingdom at the weekend. I know you got something coming up with Breakout, what we'll talk about later, kind of thing. But obviously, I noticed this on my Facebook memories literally just over a year ago. And I know you posted like a comparison picture as well. But it was about a year ago that you answered Sean Only's open challenge at True Grit. Dude, that's flown by. That's freaking mental. But yeah, I still remember that because I was proper popped. I was like, yes, Joel was here.
It were a crazy time. Unfortunately, I wasn't at my best either. That's the worst thing about it. I wasn't at my best. I'd love to, rewind the clock and be how I am now. Because I think it'd be something special. It was a fantastic opportunity. And the crowd, wow, the True Grit crowd is, yeah. It's one of them crowds you walk in and you feel, you can feel the atmosphere, you can feel goosebumps 100%, 100%. It's a special crowd. It's a very special crowd.
It's left bank as well, though. It's the crowd, but it's the venue. And I love that venue. I think anybody who goes to True Grit, that's one of the things they always remember. They always try and get a photo there as well because there's so many different kind of visually. You can have some banging portrait photos there or headshots or stuff. It's just an amazing backdrop especially to a match. I think I can't even speak. Sean sold it really well. He's been all like the cocky, and then you came out and dude, yeah, he just sold the fact. It's like because Pete's a tall guy. Keep calling him Pete. Sean is a tall guy, but then you came out and he was like, "Oh, dude, you could have been like 7 foot tall." He was selling it like shit. Here we go.
He's a great guy. Sean is, like I said, not only as a performer but as a mentor, as a coach. He goes for the small details. Everything he picks up on, and to learn, sit under the learning tree. It's cliche. But to sit under the learning tree and learn from him, it's good.
It's again, anybody who knows this channel, knows the show, knows of our appreciation for Sean. The guests that we've had on previously, I was reeling them off to you earlier. Obviously, like Gung Ho, Sammy Blue, J Ro, Billy O'Keefe, Josh Garler. The dude is obviously very highly regarded. I know Sean's awesome. He's been on here a few times, and just his outlook, his logic. It's like I kind of made the mistake of saying like a match was like a film, and he was like, "No, mate, a match is like a TV series. Each little 2 or 3 segment in a match is like an episode in a TV series. A 20-minute match can be as detailed as like a fucking 24 episode series. I was like,
100%.
yep, no, I'll take that. I will take that.
That's not just from like, you know, the action in the ring. That's from making your entrance to the ring. Every step you take, make it mean something. And you know, that's what a lot of people who learn from Sean. Everything you do in that ring, make it matter. And it's transcending through with people who, you know, are, you know, like making the way, making the name. Like, you know, like you say, you've got Gung Ho, you've got Sammy Blue, you've got Billy O'Keefe, who's, you know, tearing it up and down the country. You know, all these guys. You've got Gala, who's definitely one to watch. Definitely want to watch his Gala. You know, they're all making a name for himself, but they've been taught the fundamentals, the basics through Sean, who's, you know, let's be honest, he's been there, he's lived it, he's still, you know, he's still smashing it. So yeah,
He knows what he's doing. Right, generic question time then. Since we're talking about, you know, training and coaching and learning, what was it, dude? You know, at what point did you get the bug? What made you take them steps through the school doors? You know, what made you think, right, I can do this, I can be a wrestler, or I want to be a wrestler?
So I have documented this quite a few times. Back in the day, all I wanted to be was an RAF pilot. I wanted to fly planes, and I remember I went into this RAF Army Careers Day, what were in my high school, and they turned around to me and they were asking all these questions, you know, and they were like, "Oh right, oh you know your stuff." I'm like, "Oh, you know, this is all I want. I want to be a pilot. You know, that's all I want to do. You know, sea missions and, you know, rescue missions and, you know, all just crazy stuff in planes." And they said to me, they said one thing to me, and I'll never forget it. It was called Sergeant Cornel. I remember his name distinctly. And he turned around to me and goes, "So, have you any eyesight problems?" And I just looked at him and I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you wear glasses?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're never going to be a pilot." And I was like, yeah. So me trying in school and busting my ass, you know, for all of this, to turn around and go, take a nosedive, you know, excuse the pun, but it would a nosedive. And then I thought, right, okay, this is where I'm at. Thought, well, I don't have to try in school. I mean, I was great in sports. I've played rugby since I was 4, so I had a bit of a sporting background. And I just remember, you know, I was messing about in IT, and I was watching. I was trying to do catch up of wrestling. Like, I think it was Monday Night Raw, because, you know, we didn't have the accessibility like we do now. So I'm there watching YouTube, and I'm watching, you know, clips of. I think I'm watching The Rock and Austin and, you know, Undertaker and all, you know, all the bigger guys like, you know, Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader. And I was like, yeah, you know, these guys have got it, you know, like, big fan of wrestling anyway, but I thought, why not become a wrestler? Let's become a, you know, let's. And I went home and I said I told my brother, says, look, I want to be a wrestler. And he went, okay. So he grabbed my dad's laptop, went on the old Google back in there, and we found a school over in Wigan. And it went as Northwest Pro Wrestling. And it were run by a guy called Paul Flash Andrews and Gary Wilde. He trained under, like, so Flash trained under a guy called Orig Williams.
Right.
So obviously, you know, he got like a lot of cool training through Orig and this and that. Anyway, we turned up Sunday, young 14-year-old me, looking around, you know, and I remember we walked in. I'm expecting, you know, cameras. I'm expecting big rings, railings, mats, you know, the works. And we turned up to this like sports centre in middle of Wigan in Hindley. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we're in massive sports hall. No, we weren't in a sports hall. There were no glitz, there were no glamour. We trained in a squash court.
with mats, hopefully.
Yeah, there were mats. And I remember, like, when we got there, they said, oh, ring's going to be a little bit late. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember this, what can only be described as like a chitty chitty bang bang van rocking up, you know, banging and chugging along. And then all the lads that were there, you know, because we're there watching and like, what's going on here? Are we in the right place? This must be a joke. You know,
I've been pumped.
yeah, you know, I were expecting, you know, Aston Kutcher to come out. And I'm like, come on, like, where's the cameras? Like, and you know, all these lads that, you know, the rock out and then, you know, carry it on. I'm like, what's that? And they went, oh, this is wrestling ring. Very much first time I've ever seen like a wrestling ring this up close and personal. So, you know, all metal, all boards, ropes, mats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this don't look safe. This, okay. Anyway, we got chatting to a bloke. And he says to me, he goes, you're a little bit young to be training. And I'm like, oh. He goes, look, you've come all this way. You can do, you know, like the basics, you know, tying up, all that stuff, you know, your bumps. But I went into the ring and I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was doing judo. So I'm there, I'm rocking out all these bumps. And it's like, oh, you're a natural. I went, oh, I do jiu-jitsu. So it's like, actually, right, okay, do a bit of tech work. And I was getting people in like chokes, I was getting them in like, and he's like, oh, no. But because I was getting the right arm. I would go, yeah. Obviously in wrestling, what do? We work the left side.
There we go.
There you go. You see. So yeah, I'm getting these guys in like, you know, wrist locks and, you know, they're like, well, what am I doing wrong? But no, it's great. Left side and loosen it, loosey goosey. And I'm like, loosey goosey. And I'm like, yeah, but that don't look real. It's like, watch. And then the shot, I'm like, oh. And you know, light bulb moment, and it progressed. And now my brother actually went on and he ended up doing a show after about 2 months training. And he went on circuit, did my brother. He did a bit of MPWA, went on tag team, you know, wrestled at UKW, wrestled all over the place, wrestled at BWA. I can't remember. There was a guy called Toga. Don't remember Toga from Morley, who had show at Morley Town Hall and Morley Working Men's, and like, you know, he ended up wrestling like you know, Marty Skrull and all the people like that, you know, Kirby, Madman Manson, obviously the great man himself, who we can't forget, Kris Travis. You know, I mean, that guy, absolute live wire in the locker room with Kris. Like, you know, wicked sense of humor, such a lovely guy. And, you know, yeah, like, that's a different story. But yes, obviously, you know, I went around on the circuit with my brother, you know, going to shows. And I remember one at shows we went to in Wigan. Bear in mind, I'm young, I'm 14 years old, I'm cutting my teeth. And I want to say it was Night of Champions or some other generic wrestling name. I can't remember what it was. And I remember the main event, it was the Wonder Kid Johnny Storm against the Phoenix Jody Fleisch. That was the main event. Wrestling royalty there. And promoter comes up to me, does Gary, and he goes, "You're right, kid. Referee's not shown up, so we're going to put you in. Can you referee like first half at match, just in case, you know, till referee comes?" I'm like, yeah. And I just looked at him and went, "What do I do?" And he goes, "Well, find out the finish. They've got 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know." Right. Sound. So, you know, I'm going up to lads in the locker room. "Hey guys, I'm going to be refereeing you tonight. What's your finish?" And I'm there with my notepad and pen. I look like a right geek, you know. So they're there. All right. Well, I'm going to finish him with pile driver. I went, okay. I said, I should know anything outstanding I should know in your match? No. As soon as you see, you know, I went, have you got any false finishes or, you know, this or that? No. We'll call it in ring. Yeah. Sound. Cool. You know, and anyway, I got up to it got to interval, and you know, you've got Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch, they're there warming up, you know, stretching off, and they went, "Look, kid, you're gonna have to referee them two." And I'm like, "What? No." asking, is there anybody else? Can somebody else do it? I'm I was a big fan, and it were at a time as well when Jody had just done the famous balcony moonsault off.
Yeah.
Which again, I was looking on YouTube for, like, again, it was like Rocking Horse back in the day.
Yeah.
And I refereed. I says, so I'm walking up and went, excuse me, Mr. Storm. Yeah. What's the finish for the match? And he goes, Phoenix is over. I'm like, okay, Phoenix. What's the finish? Oh, he's going to do the 720 DDT. I'm like, what? It's like, right. He goes, and he's doing all this. He's Johnny's all this, and he flips around, and I'm like, and then Jody just walked up to me and goes, "Don't worry, kid." He goes, "When I do it, I'll give you that little wink, and you'll know." And I'm like, "All right, sound." And they come out. They have the match of the night by far, obviously. But I remember the first 2 minutes of that match, it were cruiserweight pins. So it was poof, 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 poof. Constantly, one. And they said, "Well done, kid, you kept up with that." And you could see them both laughing because I was jumping around like a fish out of water. But yeah, so that's what really got me hooked. But then obviously I took a bit of time away from wrestling due to playing rugby. I managed to make it, well, not a decent name, but I was in Bradford Bulls Academy.
That's good, man. That's big.
So I took a bit of time away, played rugby, went and played rugby union, but then there was always something back in my mind saying something's missing. I was still attending, excuse me. I was still attending a few training sessions. I was actually going to Grapple in Leeds back when it were on Kirkstone, and the original UKW as well, the Thunderdome. So, because I was going with my brother, so like people like Danny Steele were on there. Obviously, who else were there now back in there? There were quite a few older names. But like my brother,
Jones turned up a few times, didn't
he? He did, yeah. Marty were there. Seb Strife.
Yeah.
Which were funny because my brother ended up tagging with Seb, and that were his second tag partner as Ultimate Devastation.
Wow. Okay.
And
Seb's
then,
cool. Big shout out to Seb as well. Yeah, much love for Seb. One half, obviously, of the Lion Kings as well with Enserica.
I missed in the wrestling world. This Seb, he was a cool guy. Seb. I had some funny road trips with him when I was younger, and my brother were driving and stuff. Obviously, then my brother were tagging with Kevin Omega. They tagged as OST.
Yeah.
And then obviously my brother went singles, and were wrestling for like BWA, like the promotion in Bradford where
Bradford Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gaz started it. Well, it was Gaz and somebody else running it.
Ryan Lloyd,
Liam Slater there, Priscilla, Wing Commander Nash,
young Jimmy Jackson, Mark Starr.
Yeah.
All these people who now are just absolutely, killing it. You've got Nash, you've got Priscilla, who's a fantastic wrestler. Big shout out to Priscilla there. Like pioneer, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. The amount of people that have kind of like held her up. When I did I did some like awards last year. End of year awards. And I just had to give Priscilla just got their own award. I was like, you know what? I just want to give Priscilla an award. So I made one. I was like, there you go, Bosh. You've won an award. Congratulations, because you're awesome.
No, 100%. Like absolute pioneer, and people like that. You've got like Jimmy Jackson, Mark Starr, gymnastic. When he was first cutting his teeth, Gaz helped him out. And then he went to GPW, and he's just, I was at TNT. He's absolutely smashing it. Is Jimmy. So big shout out to Jimmy as well, because like he's been helping me quite a lot in like wrestling wise, and just giving me a bit more idea and a bit more clarity on where my character should be, as well as Enserico. So big shout out to them boys for helping. Help.
I saw the pictures. last week with Wes, because I know Gaz has got Wes in a few times. I need to help train
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Is one at trainers on Wednesday nights is Wes, and I think Pete does Tuesdays, Wes does Wednesdays. So it's you can learn a lot from them, which is good. You learn two different things, so it's good learning. You've got to be varied.
That is two good people, different as well. They're different styles, different kind of energies. Both are right, but both are varied. It's whatever suits you best, or you can take a little bit of this or a little bit of that. But yeah, my BWA, like I say, when I spoke to Gaz a few months ago on here, we were talking about it because I went to BWA like at Odds All Top. The shows that had an Odds All Top kind of thing. It was just like, wow, just total kind of like being like, 12, 13 years ago. It was just, total trip down memory lane kind of thing.
But I can't believe, I remember the first show, it was at Cedar Court Hotel, and in the main Cedar Suite, and I was like, for a first wrestling show, and this is mad. Like, Cedar Court Hotel and first show it's mental. But it would have, it were a good. It gave a lot of people opportunity, and I will say this with Gaz, he does give a lot of up and comers opportunity to cut the teeth and like work in front of a crowd. So we've got a lot of love for Gaz for that. Nothing. I've got all the time in the world kind of thing. I was going to ask about that because obviously like Kingdom and stuff like that. I know it's a weird kind of, not weird, but it's a different kind of energy or different kind of vibe, because of the location, because of it's not just wrestling, I mean, they have kind of like baptisms and things like that going on as well. But I kind of think, some people are starting to realise it's kind of like, I can go and it's a good wrestling show kind of thing. I'll enjoy it because there's some awesome wrestling on. I don't have to be, a devout Christian just to go to this wrestling show, So I think people are starting to pick that up now, and it seems to be building momentum. 100%. There's a lot of people. Like on Saturday, we went to a takeover show at, like I say, in St Helens, and we ended up having to get additional chairs. Like there were over, I think it were 130, 140 people in the venue, which for a church,
that's good going, man.
Like I think total figure, I'm sure it was like 140. Pretty sure it was. Might be more, might be a little bit less, but yeah, we absolutely smashed it in there, and they were like, well, we didn't expect this. We were expecting, the priest there going blah 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 blah. This is God, blah blah blah. Don't do this, don't do that. And it won't, we put on a show like, we full on wrestling. Yes, there was spoken testament, and a bit of story from, Gaz and his experiences, etc. But wrestling was a hook for him, and it got the people in, and they loved it. Which that's what we want to do.
Exactly, that's it. You say wrestling is the hook. If they get something else out of it, awesome. I mean, anything that can spread positivity, if it helps somebody out, great. I'm never going to shit on anybody doing anything like that because it takes all means to make different people happy. So yeah, I love that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm just glad to see that it's kind of building up momentum. I saw like the whole St. Helens thing. I saw them post, it's like a sellout. So I just kind of like did a little mini fist bump to myself, like, I just like support. I just like it when wrestling promotions do well. I think especially at the minute, wrestling is just on such a high. A majority of people seem to be really eager to help each other out, or they're helping to promote each other, or they're elevating each other. You've been around, like you sort of said, long enough that you'll know how it was, like 10 years ago kind of thing. It was a bit gnarly back in the day sometimes, a bit more negative, a bit more
minefield. Very minefield, this.
Exactly. It's just a massive freaking minefield, wasn't it, of people, I don't want to piss this person off, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or they're saying this, or they're saying that. It's just like, what the hell do I do?
I think COVID as well, like the thing is, like, 2020 was the worst year in mankind. Let's be honest. Everything shut down, everything. And, people were there thinking, like, are they ever going to wrestle again? Is it going to be live shows? Are we going to see his loved ones, etc.? And then to come back first show after COVID, and, it's like, yeah, this is, and at that time, after COVID, the first wrestling show I remember, it was Like, a lot like peace, love, and everything were great. The wrestling world, it like wow. Wrestling world's like it's cleansed, it's healed, it's and I'm not talking about certain movements that may or may not have happened. What I'm saying is like wrestling as a whole performing, and the shows being live, people being allowed. It was like, yeah, this is great. And then all of a sudden, it started to rear its head again a little bit, and it's like, oh, come on, man! Like if we all work together like we did after COVID, let's be honest, British wrestling is probably some of the best talent in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I second that.
Like, you've got your British strong style, which, it's a little bit more legit looking. It's a little bit, more showy than the American stuff, which is all flippy. You know what I mean? Like the British style is very unique. That's why, British wrestlers, when they go over to like, Japan or like Mexico, they absolutely kill it over there because they're not used to the realism of it, shall we say. That's my personal opinion,
No, I totally agree. I mean, that's why Regal was such a star back in the day. That's why Regal was known for being able to work with anyone. Regal could have a match with anyone and just use 4 holds. That was always kind of his thing. Is that real? The man could put you in a wrist lock and you would believe if the man tapped out, kind of thing. Like, fuck yeah, I'll tap out from that as well, kind of thing. But Regal puts me in a wrist lock, I'm tapping. I don't care. But yeah, like I said, the British talent stands out. I've said it. I've had people go at me for saying it, or disagree with me, or had a conversation about it. But for me, British wrestling is the best now than that it's ever been.
100%.
Just for pure depth of quality, how many strong promotions are in the country, and how many of those promotions are working together as well, and the talent are working together. And I think there's there's at least 10 very good schools in this country now, as opposed to being like a handhold, back in the day kind of thing. And the facilities people use, it's crazy. Like House of Pain, their training school looks like freaking a performance center. It's unreal.
It's mad how British wrestling has grown, especially, like I said, my first experience of training was in a squash court. If I'd have gone to something like, like look at like UKW, big 20-foot ring, big arena, because let's be honest, like they have got fantastic facilities there. It's great facilities. You've got House of Pain, you've got Wrestle Island over in Liverpool, that's got good facilities. But obviously that's killing it at the moment, and you'll probably agree with me. It's PPW. Like, wow, I'm still yet to grace the presence. I need. It's one place I've got on the list. I need to go. Nathan Black and Liam Slater. The talent they're bringing through, like the dominating. Let's be honest, they are dominating a lot of the northwest and the north of England of talent. They're killing it over in Mexico, Italy. So whatever they're doing, that formula. Well done, guys.
Mate, I'm literally having to sit here and bite my tongue. So I'm just kind of like, again, I think you've watched enough episodes. You've seen enough of my posts, and anybody watching will know. They'll be sat there now and being like, fuck's sake, here you go. Nick's going to go on a 5-minute rant about how great the suit is. Like, right, no, I'm not. I've done it before. I'm not going to do it again. But you're right, mate. I would, if you get a chance to go there, dude, I think you just walk in and it's just like, it's not just the facility, it's the people. I've had the pleasure of talking. I looked at all my previous guests. I think I've spoken to 30 people from Pursuit on this show, and every single one of them is just crazy supportive, or just they get the business, they get the mind, and they can just help you work on a character. They can help you do this or do that. Like I said, Liam, you'll know Liam from back in the day, like the BWA days and stuff. Anyway,
Lazarus.
Yeah, Liam Lazarus. There we go.
Yeah.
And then after that, when he came out to the Venga Boys, it's just like, but we don't talk about those days. But yes, I mean, I'm sure if you watch Pursuit, they'll be like, right, come in. I think straight away, like Joel Cobra versus Kemper. Or Joel versus Will, Big Will, man. Big Willie Cruz is there now as well. So there's matches there, boss, straight off the bat.
Well, funnily enough, I've actually trained with Josh over in at Marty's. So I know Josh. Yeah, at Squared Circle with me and Josh had a bit of a set too in Leeds. Didn't get to go 1-on-1, unfortunately, but that is on the list. Is Kemper. Like, you know, him, Big Isaac North as well. Like, you know, Isaac North is like him and Kemp are probably two of the biggest big men that I want to go, you know, up against. And Rob Drake. Just you know, it's like these. I've got a list of opponents that I want to face, you know, and like these guys are like top of the list. Like these are the guys that I want, you know, because I know it'll elevate myself, and you know, I think it'll be good. I think we'd have a very interesting match, to say the least.
I'd fully agree. I think as well, though, especially like somebody, because of like we was talking beforehand, mate, because of the shape that you're in at the minute and the speed. You know what I mean? You could actually, you know, against somebody like Kemper or against Will Cruz or, you know, somebody like that, you could be the fast guy kind of thing, you know, and
Which
obviously
is rare.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be cool for you because you could be like, well, this is new, this is different, this is kind of like, okay, I can mess about with this. I can kind of see what I can get away with. And it'd be like, yeah, man, I just think it'd be fun.
100%, and that's what I'm on about at the minute. You know, I'm really enjoying my wrestling. I'm enjoying, you know, what's getting put in front of me, and long may it continue. Long may it continue.
You know, I'm thinking as well, though, it's like, Deshaun's still doing the, you know, the open challenges as of when he's not suspended at True Grit.
He's a naughty man. He's a naughty man.
He is a very naughty man, but maybe, I'm not saying Billy did this, but, you know what I mean, if you could maybe, if the open challenges still continue, get yourself a mask, come back as, I don't know, El Cobra or something.
El Jolo, you know.
The big burrito.
There you go. But yeah, I think I owe him definitely owe him a rematch.
Dude, I'd love to see it. I think as well, I know with Sean, you know, he'll do everything that he can for you guys. That's what I love as well, you know, that kind of, when you've got somebody like that coaching you, it's just another promotion as well. I'm just waiting for you to pop up, and I'm just like, at some point, hopefully I'll see you there, is Blackheart.
At some point, fingers crossed.
Because I just think, you know, obviously they've got the man, you know, they've got Jepson, they've got Henry Winter, you know, there's a few big boys there for you to tussle with as well. But there's always that David and Goliath stuff as well. You know, I'll get to something in a minute because obviously that would be an amazing match. But you and Billy could, you know, tear it up there. You and J-Ro could tear it up. You know, I'd love to see you versus Gung Ho just to see how the hell Gung Ho would kind of try and deal with it. But Sammy's another one. But I know you and Sammy have got a match coming up. Yeah,
so me, Sammy, Ian Creed, and Bo Carter were in the Monster Brawl over at Breakout. So that's going to be a very interesting Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
One. Creed's another one that I like the look of. Obviously, I've seen on Black, and I know he trains. I've seen, like, you know, the training photos, and obviously kind of see Creed sat at the corner of the ring looking really sad all the time after training. Like, just kayfabe. I'm sure he's, you know, he smiles occasionally.
Never seen him smile once.
Have you?
I'm pretty sure that is him. That's him through and through.
There's no character.
There's no character. That's just him.
You'll just look over and every now and again he'll just be like, yeah, right. What are we doing?
Every time.
But he's somebody else as well. You know, I like to see do well kind of thing. He was on Planet Wrestle recently, and, you know, smashed it there kind of thing. I just think, you know, yeah, the opportunities are there, especially working with Rez as well. Because I was saying, like, you know, Pete will do what he could, Sean will do what he could do, but obviously working under Rez as well, you know, that's another foot in the door. That's somebody else you can be like, yeah, you're looking for a big man, right? I know this guy, kind of thing. Planet Wrestle again is another promotion. I just think the way that you're going, your booking radius is going to start expanding. You know, I'm expecting you to see in the next 12 months. I'm expecting you to see you turn up in more and more promotions.
I'm hoping that's the aim. I'm trying to, you know, Sean always says, you know, you need to look the part, but you need to, once you are the part, you need to act the part, and that's, you know, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to get as much training as I can do, but I'm also trying to get in the gym as well and look the part rather than just a flump in lycra. You know, I want to look good. Like, look at Kemper. Kemper's just like, you know, he's looking in good shape at the minute. He's a beast, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's just a beast.
Yeah, but again, this is where I'm going to have to bite my tongue. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to sit here for the next 5 minutes and just gush over, the man that is Kemper. But
The man Mountain.
That's it. I'm just saying, like, change the subject right before, but yeah, like you need to look the part. It just shows, it shows promoters that you're dedicated, that you're doing everything you can do. But it gets you over with the fans as well. I know the fans are more likely to believe in what you're doing, or as daft as it sounds, they're more likely to buy your merch or buy your photo. Say you buy a photo of a dude who looks like a professional wrestler, then they're going to be like, right, I need this guy's photo. He looks like a professional wrestler. No offense to anybody, it's like, I know everybody's different, everything like that. But, if I saw a picture of a dude just wearing, like a freaking muscle top and joggies, or I saw a photo of a guy,
special.
Yeah, pretty much, or like a Lonsdale top or something, I was like, I ain't buying this photo. But if I see a dude who looks like a professional wrestler, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to buy that, because it might be worth.
You're going to invest. You're going to invest in the guy, and that's what it's about. And Pete Drill's like, you've got to look the part. You've got to, once you've got them invested in you, you've then also got to, you've got to train. Let's be honest, you can't just be a big muscly man and then all of a sudden not know how to do, like a front face foot, or of course, Sean's favourite, lock the cravat. You need to know how to do it. You need to walk the walk and talk the talk and look the look. And that's what Sean, it drills that into you. And sometimes it's tough on it, but it's tough because it cares. It cares about the business. It cares about the next generation of talent that's coming through. Some people think you can just walk in, you can wear a costume. Look at me, I'm a wrestler. No, you're not. My brother said this as well. There's a lot of people who wrestle. They play at being a wrestler. They're not a wrestler. And it's for some people, it's hard to differentiate between being a wrestler. Like you are a living, walking, talking, ass-kicking machine, and hiya, I'm John Cena. No, you're not. Get the gone. You're out of here.
An example of that was I spoke to Cavera a few weeks ago. Big in Newcastle, big up in Scotland at the minute, doing a lot of stuff, with the New Age clique. He kind of went away for a little bit, then came back. Got himself jacked. Dude looks like the business now. But I was talking about it. We was talking about the New Age clique thing, and we sort of saying, like a couple of years ago, he was main eventing against Grado way before he was ready and stuff like that. And he says, I could have done this 2 years ago, but I couldn't have done this 2 years ago, kind of thing. It's like I could have done it and kind of phoned it in, and it might have been all right. But in his head, he's like, I couldn't have done this. I've had to train fucking hard to do it. I could have looked like I could do it, but I would never have delivered. It's that kind of realization of being like, a couple of years ago, he'd think, hey, I can do this, but no, it's that realization of being like, you're not as good as you think you are sometimes, or you don't just settle, don't just float on the water, just fucking go for it.
That's why Sean's really good, because you'll give him stuff, or you'll send him a match, and he said, look, this is what I've picked up. Well, look, can you watch my match? Yeah, watch the match. He goes, right, what did you pick up on? Well, I've picked up on this personally, and then they'll be like, okay, I've picked up this, and this. This movement, this step you could have moved, made it bigger. This, there's certain bits he does. And I've got a certain circle where I will send I'll send my matches to, and I'll take their feedback, because in order for me to get better, I'm not just going to watch and go, I was fantastic. Look at me. That's me. See that? All me. Why throw roses at myself? There's certain people in the industry where I'll say, look, can you just look at that? I'll do a list that I'll actually I'll be there. Notepad and pen, and I'll write down. Right, okay, I've done that. I were off there. Right, okay, I'm off there. And then I'll say, like, for example, Jimmy Jackson. Right, Jimmy, watch my match. And he'll then go, right, okay, we're going to go to the gym now. We're going to train on this, and boom, we work on it, And he goes, what's your thoughts? And he always asks me first what I found. And then I go, okay. And sometimes when I'm thinking I'm being too harsh on myself, I'm being too critical. And sometimes he'll be like, absolutely right. Yeah, and that's what you need. You need people. You don't want, I call, yes men. There's a lot of people in wrestling who go, yeah, that were great. And they're saying it because they don't want you to progress. They want to hold you at that lower tier, and then they want to get above you. And it's like, let's be honest. When you wrestle, you're helping each other. You are. You're telling a story, but you're helping each other, and you're making it look legit. And there's a lot of people out there who don't do that with each other. They don't help each other and pull each other up, and we should. We really should pull each other up rather than just try and one up each other. It's pathetic. It's daft.
I don't get it personally, because you're only as good as the person you're in the ring with. If the person you're in the ring with isn't any good, what you're doing isn't going to look good. So you want that. You want the person across the ring to. You want that Ted. Really, you want that person across the ring from you to be slightly better than you are, so they make you look fucking boss.
100%.
Why would you keep that? Why would you keep that man down? Kind of thing. You need to be like. So that's where it works together. It's a team effort.
100%. And there's. I have seen it, unfortunately, where people's been, well, I'm better than him, so, and they'll do it just to embarrass the person. And it's like, it's not, it's not cricket, is it? You know what I mean? It's just not cricket.
It's not ballet in cricket, so knock it off.
There you go.
But I like that. Like I said, I love the fact. Again, I spoke to, like, when I spoke to Gong Ho, he sort of said like 3 or 4 people. They've got that circle. And they'll critique each other, kind of thing, because they know it comes from a place of like love or bettership, or there's no malice there, there's no gnarliness, there's no belittlement. It's like if one of these guys tells me, mate, that was a little bit shoddy during that match, I'll be like, right, I've got to admit it. Yeah, like, okay, fair enough, it was shoddy, I know what I need to work on now, kind of thing. They're not saying it just to be, to put him down. They're just saying it to be like, look, we want you to get better, so mate, don't fucking do that again, sort it out.
100%. It's what you need. It's how you get better. It's like I always ask, like, 1, the opponent who I've been against, and 2, the promoter as well. Say, look, is there anything I could have done better for you, so I can, lock it in the bank for the next match. It's how you get better. And I think more people should have that mentality of wanting to do better, because like Sean says as well, these guys. Money's tight at the minute, so they're spending 10, 15 quid, 25, 30 quid on like family tickets, etc. They're spending their put my teeth in, their hard-earned cash on watching you whip some ass. And if you see 2 guys who's airing with the punches and they're not connecting, because let's be honest, you've probably seen it a few times where you'd have come in and it's nothing but air.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, or you get like a 5-year-old or 4-year-old kid who, loves wrestling. It's like, oh, and you hear him in the front row going, he didn't even hit him. And that's a 4-year-old kid there saying that. That's it. That illusion of you being a big tough man is gone. And then his dad's like, he's seen that. I want my money back. And it's just awkward. So give them what they want, and give them, a fight is what they're wanting to see.
I love the fact though as well, where it's like, even when they see a fight and it's right there in front of their face, some people are still like, ooh, special effects.
Yeah. You can't please them all the time. This is real. It's real to me, damn it.
On the face. I taste it. We mentioned beforehand, obviously, kind of working on this, like, got this Berserker character, kind of, dude, it fits you perfectly. It's just a no-brainer for me. But how are you kind of developing that then? Is that kind of obviously part of, when you're training, do you kind of find yourself stepping back and trying to sort of think of certain moves that this, the character would do, what they wouldn't do? Are you more inclined to bump less or bump more?
See, it all depends who I'm against. So, like, if I'm with a smaller guy, then I'm gonna make him earn the bump.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's like I'm not gonna have. And this is no disrespect to the guy, but like I'm not gonna have someone like Horace, German suplexing or powerbombing because it's not logical, you know, or let's say bloody La Flama, who's what is it? He's about 5 foot. He's a small guy, and he's not going to be doing big power moves on me, is he? I need to make. I'm not going to be hitting him four times to make him bump. It's going to be one big club. He's going to, snap bump that. It's got again what Sean drives it. It's got to be logical. It needs to make sense. If it doesn't, again, it's playing wrestling. Exactly. Yeah. It's playing wrestling with your friends, with people's paying money. It's two separate things. So yeah. So go on.
I was always curious about the character kind of thing. Like, so say, when you're working on something, like so I said, quickly mention his name without gushing all over him. When I was talking to Kemper kind of thing, he's sort of saying, he's kind of got that, he's realised that, the opponent needs to, like you said, earn the bump. He's a big guy. It will just take the audience out of the equation if he bumps within the first 5 minutes, kind of thing. That in itself is the story. It's like you say, you get Horace going against you. You can have a 10-minute match where the dude's just trying to slam you or just knock you off your feet. That is the match. That's the story. That's the stakes.
100%. Me going for the mask, because I'm the bad guy, and it's the small details as well, like stuff like him trying to get me to bump, me being an absolute ass, trying to rip his mask off because he's a luchador and it's sacred to them. Is that mask? That's their whole thing. Me trying to rip it off, stuff like that. It's all storytelling. But yeah, so it all depends on the opponent. Again, we go to the lab. Myself, Jimmy, a couple of us, and we'll go through some stuff, and Jimmy will always come up with a few ideas. He goes, we send each other like moves all the time. Like, is there like this'll suit you? Like, can we try it? Yeah, let's go. And we'll try some like crazy stuff. Sometimes we'll film it and we'll like just to review it. And about no, that were a bad idea. Stuff like that. But again, it's having that circle and the people that you trust to go through and again to help pull you up rather than put you down, and working with the people who have got the experience on like the bigger shows, the time. Like, granted, I've been around the industry for 20 years this year. It's a bloody long time to be around, but I don't have the experience performing wise like Jimmy, like Wes, like Gareth, like Sean, all these people that's been doing it. I mean, Jack Johnson is a guy who you need to see more. Like, to look at, you think, it's a small guy. You're all right. Yeah, he's got a good physique. Yeah, he's ripped. All right. I'll tell you what, his promos. If you're not familiar with Jack Johnson, right? YouTube him, check him on Facebook. His promos, his character, his persona, how he carries himself. You'd think he were 10 foot tall. You'd think it were built like the Ultimate Warrior. Is believable. Is that Scally who will rob you? And he fights and he scraps and he's, for every opportunity, and he's believable. So
it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
And that's Jack Johnson, the Salford Saint, the Salford Sinner, whatever you want to call him nowadays. He's one guy who really needs, to be out there more because he is phenomenal. Like, he is. Like, and he's been doing it about 4, 5 years, 6 years. So, it's a good amount of time. but he's not where he should be. My opinion, he should be more. He should be out more places because he works his ass off. Like, you know, but that's just the personal thing. Is Jack Johnson seriously? He's a guy to check.
Name noted. I will obviously, because that's the thing. That's why I love doing these episodes as well. You know, talking to you guys, because every now and again they'll just be like, check out this person. I'm like, all right, cool. Go check. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I get behind that. Then I'll start hyping that person up, or you know, I'll start sharing. I started doing it with Billy O'Keefe ages ago, kind of thing. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. You know, I'll share some of his matches and stuff whenever he puts them on YouTube. Now it's just kind of like showing support. Again, you know, I don't have the biggest audience, but hopefully, if I can get one or two, you know, pairs of eyes on someone, awesome. You know, they can then get other people onto them, kind of thing. It's the ripple effect. But I'll take that, and I'll run with that. I'll have a look. I'll check him out because I'm always excited to see new people.
Well, he's good. You know, I came across Jack at the first show. We're at Fountains when GTM had their first wrestling show at Fountains of 2021, 2022. So a good amount a year ago. And my introduction, and at the time, well, my tag team partner Dave, we were going to be a tag team, but we were just enforcers, you know, to help Jack, elevate Jack to that main event and to show that he's the ultimate bad guy. And you know, he went up. His first match were against Rarebit, who, you know, big shout out to that guy as well, because like the guy is a wrestling sweetheart, and there's not many wrestling sweethearts, but everybody I've ever spoken to, Rarebit, lovely guy, love that guy. No one's ever said a bad word about him, not one person, you know. So you know, with the henchmen, me and Dave ended up catching Rarebit when he did a jump, and to catch Rarebit when he's done a big jump over, it's like, yep. That's a lot of trust there, buddy. That's a lot of trust. But no, we caught Rarebit, and Jack, you know, he goes, we were in back, and like, he goes, have you got a tag team name? Like, no, we don't have a tag team name. He goes, I mean, and he's looking at us, he's looking us up and down. You know, we're in these black vests, we're in these black combats, and he goes, what about Modern Day Mafia? That were it. Lightning bolt moment. And me and Dave just look at each other, and all of a sudden, from that, we did this, the handshake, like what we do, like it just came. He said that, and it was boom, boom. I'm like, we're onto something here. But again, Jack, very creative mind, very, you know. So
that's awesome. Oh, that's quality, dude. That's like I say, yeah, I'll check them out. There's somebody else I've noticed. In the photos, it's weird how like when you see training school photos, you know, people like doing the stuff, and you kind of, I sit there looking at like people at the end of a session, you know, when they get a picture taken. So I'm like, who's that guy? I don't know who that guy is, but he looks like, I want to keep an eye on him. And there's a dude, he just got bright red hair.
Josh.
Is that right? Okay. Because yeah, he's caught my eye. You know, like just kind of like, I've never seen him do anything in the ring, but you know, when you just look at someone, you think, yeah, I think they look like they could be a good wrestler.
He's got potential as Josh.
Yeah.
He's grafting, and you know, again, he's being under Pete, aka Sean. You know, he's sat with him, he's learned with him. So you know, his time will come, and I think at the minute he's looking at developing his character and, you know, going different directions. And this is the thing, like, it's very hard if you haven't got a character or a gimmick.
Yeah,
you know, it's like mine. Like my gimmick is it's my middle name, and it's like my dad were LC Cobra. He were a wrestling manager at MPWA, and I thought I want to continue kind of that legacy of, you know, like, so I thought, why not have, you know, Joel Cobra? So I had a name, but I didn't have, you know, a kind of gimmick as such. And then someone said to me, went, you look very Viking-ish. And I went, this could work. And that were it. Then it just slowly transcended, and the Berserker was born.
Dude, that's it. Joel Cobra, Ragnar's son. Son of Ragnar. Dude, but yeah, you are 100% correct. I've said this so many times, like, because I know wrestling went through a period where people didn't really have characters. They were just kind of, just putting on amazing exhibition matches, but there wasn't really a character there to tell a story. We were watching amazing matches, but there wasn't really much emotion involved. Whereas now, I think people are starting to slow down again, develop characters, and we're getting more emotionally invested. Because there's characters there. There's, we're relating to this character, or we're cheering this guy because it's a face character, or we're booing this guy because he's a twat of a character, but he's meant to be. So yeah, we love to boo him. And I think again, I've said it before. You guys, it's easier for you guys because you don't have to do as much because we're so emotionally invested in this. Just a simple punch can pop a crowd.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I've been to crowds where they've absolutely gone mental for a suplex, a simple suplex. They've lost their mind. But then you've done some tech, so you've took the wrist, you're reversing it, doing all this flippy, and they're just like, and then all of a sudden, he's run the rope, he's hit him with a clothesline. Whoa, what? It was a clothesline. It's not special. Yeah.
I think obviously it depends on the story or what people are emotionally invested in, done it kind of thing. If they love a babyface so much, like I said, they'll pop for anything like they do. If a babyface is so over because the kids love the characters or because the fans, love the character. Yeah, just like it's crazy, man. Actually, I see it all the time. Actually, I go to numerous shows. I go to True Grit, and it blows my mind sometimes. Like the pure grit matches, you can see like Liam Slater versus Chris Widray. I'm there losing my shit. I pop for that technical shit. I love that chain wrestling, pure style. But sometimes you can hear like a freaking a mouse having a conversation with another mouse. You're like, why are you not popping for this? And then they'll pop for something really weird. It's not to be smirched. Those matches are amazing. Sometimes the fans get them. I think it depends on what fans are there. Sometimes
it's all on the audience, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah. But I'm just like, dude, I pop heavy for that shit. But yeah, then other people are like, do. Oh, mate, seriously. I find myself getting really annoyed. I'm just like, nah. This is fucking gold. This is a slice of fried gold. God damn it. But yeah, like I said, I just think it's a character. If people relate to characters and stuff, they're more likely to be emotionally invested in just the simplest little gesture.
100%. No, you bang on there, and like. You've seen enough wrestling, shows through this year and various that what works as well, which is good.
But like we say about that, the Josh kid, like so I said, it's got to be so hard when you're learning.
Yeah.
Because how do you even model your moveset? You've got to. For me now, after talking to people, I kind of obviously you get the fundamentals down, you get the foundations down. Everybody needs that moveset. Right, you get the fundamentals, then you have to work on your character. Then once you've got your character, you then develop a moveset for that character. You don't make a character to fit the moveset.
Not yet. So, and you've also got to think, what is your, what's your limits? What can you physically do?
Yeah.
You might want to do like a 450 splash. Have you ever been on top of ropes? No. Are you a gymnastic? Have you been gymnastics? No. I've seen it though. Yeah, but have you got any athletic background? Nah. Probably not your moveset, mate.
Everybody wants to be Leon Slater. Yeah, happening.
Yeah. The funny thing is, and Jimmy Jackson will tell you this. Back in the day when I was learning to wrestle, I now little funny story for you. This Jimmy Jackson, I'm a few years older than him, and when I met him at a breakdancing class. Joel Cobra used to breakdance. I know. That's not the funny part. So when I was training, I used to do flips, and I did a shooting star, and I did a 450, and I landed it onto my feet out of the ring.
Wow.
and landed it. And yeah, I used to be quite athletic. I ate that person, and I grew. But when I was doing this, I were only 5 foot, or about 5'7", and I probably say about 8 stone on a good day. So I was a completely different person. And I showed him this video of me doing it, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to wrestle. I want to do that stuff." And fair play. Not only did he look at that and goes, "I'm going to be a wrestler now," and I'm like, "All right, kid," giving it the no, it's well surpassed me. The guy's phenomenal. Like he is phenomenal as Jimmy Jackson. But yeah, it's because of that moment that he went, "Yep," and he went into Bradford gym and started doing all his flippy stuff and world's his lobster.
Dude, that's awesome. But at least you can take on it as much as you can be like, "Oh, bastard, stole my gimmick." You can be like, you can take some warmth from that. That's awesome. I mean, you had a positive impact on somebody. Hey, I think that's fucking priceless. Again, I said it before. I love that shit. Yeah, but you can still look at him and be like, nah. But take some pleasure from it as well. So we touched on the name came up earlier. I ain't done this for ages. I haven't really spoken to anybody recently that was kind of around at the time or knew the guys. So I'm back in the day when I first started doing this. I used to speak to a lot more of the old school guys. Kris Travis. Always ask if I knew somebody knew him. Every episode, I'd be like, right, give me a KT story. I want to try. I just want a Trav story, just to keep people talking about him and people remembering him, kind of thing.
One of the funniest ones were actually with him and that man Joey Hayes.
Yeah, that guy.
that man is a. He gets around every now and again, doesn't he? Does Mr. Hayes? And we were backstage, and I think we were Blackpool. I want to say Norbert Castle, and them two they travelled together. I think who were with them? Oh.
It'd either be the Mexican CJ Banks or Kirby or Danny Hope. That was the clip.
Yeah, I think it might have been possibly Kirby. I don't think it was Leaks. Don't think he run that one. I know Noam Dar were at show. A very young Noam Dar, about 16-year-old at the time. Well, Noam. And he just turned around to him and went, "So when am I getting this money back off you? I bought you your Greggs. Come on." And he was just all the way through. He was just on about getting this money back. And I was like, "Are you not playing your match?" "Not till I get this money back." He just sat there, in his little... It's like, come on, man. It was a funny time.
It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of principle.
I don't think Joey. I still don't think Joey gave me like, it's fine. But yeah, it was funny. All he went on about was this money. And there were another time. So I used to work in TV, and I would try to get, believe it or not, I was trying to get British wrestling on TV again because obviously, I had a few contacts. There were a few wrestlers that I really wanted. One of the main guys I wanted on this program was Mr. Travis himself because, well, at the time he was the gold standard for British wrestling. There were him and another young up and comer at the time were MVK, Valcabius. Tried to get them two on this show, and believe it or not, the show, I met with Chris a lot of times. He came up from Sheffield. We met him at what's the hotel called? Big one in Leeds, next to the train station. Queens.
Oh, Hilton.
No, Queens.
Queens. Sorry, yeah.
Queens. Is it Queens Hilton?
No, Hilton's that side of the train station. Queens is that side.
Yeah, the one that's joined on with the parade and the square
Queens.
thing.
Yeah, it's Queens.
Yeah, and we met him, and I says to the guy, I said, "Look, this guy he's in regard to wrestling, top main event guy. He's the guy right now. So if anything's going to get this program launched, it's this guy." And I remember it. He came and had afternoon tea with him, and bear in mind this, the producer, he were like wrestling, like, you know. He goes, well, okay, let's, you know, we'll meet him, we'll have a chat with him, and I remember he comes to us, Chris, and you know, he brought this couple of DVDs, you know, with his highlight reels on, and he goes, I've also got he slaps disc on, and it goes photo shoot. It goes, just in case, you know, you ever need any you know, TV stars, really. I was like, just so casually puts his headshots on the thing. He goes, you know, because I don't want you to, and the exact line was, well, I know you're always looking for talent, right here. It's like, you cheeky shit. And I was like, fair play to you, Chris. Like, and then I remember, like, you know, after he comes out and he goes, I want too much for it. And I was like, I think you could have been a bit more. And he went, really? And I went, no, we're not going to do it now. But yeah, like I say, Chris, man, it was the life and soul of a locker room, wasn't it? He was always cracking jokes, always, you know, pranking people. He would just, but he also used to feedback, like he used to give my brother feedback as well, like, which were pretty cool. You know, he would tell my brother, you need to be wrestling more. Why aren't you wrestling more? You get wrestling more. That's what he ever said to him, you know, get wrestling more, you know, get out there, come on, get involved, sort of thing. And
I mean, hearing a story, like, I can't remember what it was ages ago, but somebody sort of said literally, you know, the reason they're still in the business is, you know, like, anybody who wrestles, anybody who goes to training knows sometimes it's a chore, you can't be arsed, or, you know, you've had a session at training and you just like, fuck it, I don't even know if I'm coming back next week. One of my guests had one of those like sessions, and it was, as he was walking out, Chris Disco just walked past him and he was like, your timing was on point today, or your timing was just perfect today. You know, like when you was moving around that ring, and then he just walked off, and the guy was just like, it just, you know, a compliment, a throwaway sentence like that, and the guy was like, fuck yeah, I'm coming back next week, and then just kept coming back, kind of thing. But it's just that little compliment, just that observation of like, mate, your timing was good today, and then just walked off. It was like, oh, sweet, thank you.
No, it was
World of difference.
One of them guys, one of them, Trav, who were just one of a kind, and you know, he's missed. He's missed. 100% he's missed.
Definitely. Dude, just clock the time. We have flown by. Do you want to let the people know where they can clock what you're doing on the socials? I'm more of an Insta kind of guy. If you want to give them your Insta.
Yeah. So you'd think I'd know it off by heart by now.
I should know it as well, to be fair. But
so the Instagram is Joel_Cobra, and I have joined the big scary world of TikTok, and I'm still trying to find my feet on TikTok at the minute. It's a minefield, to say the least. But I am on TikTok as Joel.Cobra, and obviously there's the Facebook as well of Joel Cobra.
Yeah, cool. Obviously, we'll, you know, tag you in stuff. Ash, my Instagram guy, will obviously, when he uploads this onto, when he posts this on Instagram, he'll tag you in stuff. You'll probably get a message off him being like, hello, you know, is this okay? So it'd be nice. And then obviously I'll post on Twitter and on Facebook. And if you're not following Joel on any of the socials that we post on, please do so. Yeah, just because what you're doing at the minute is awesome. And I just think, obviously, you know, you build up your following, people get their eyes on you. As I sort of said, over the next 12 months, you know, your radius is going to expand. People could be sat there being like, yeah, I knew this guy when he was only working fucking, you know, X amount of promotions. Now he's tearing it up in fucking True Grit, in Tidal, in Blackheart, in fucking TNT. You know, he's at Pursuit he's at PPW's third Pursuit or something crazy like that. So, yeah, mate, just a massive thank you for coming on as well and talking to us.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me as well, and you know, keep up the work. I do love the shows. They're great. So,
I don't take compliments. I don't do compliments, but I'm going to turn it off. Right. As always, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the stuff that I ask you to do at the end of every episode. It does help out more than you probably think it does. So please do click that like button, leave a comment, share, and we will see you again very, very soon. We have Tommy Jackson from over the Scousland ways on Wednesday. So I know he's tearing up at Wrestle Island at the minute. So we'll speak to Tommy then. And yeah, we'll see you all again very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.